The battle of the red hairs is slowly coming to a start, and with that it feels like Oda is beginning to finalize the stages for each major characters of One Piece, from Luffy who's about to go against an admiral and a garrison member, to Law versus Blackbeard, and finally Kid versus Shanks, with the latest chapter of One Piece showing us the Kid pirates arriving on Elbaf and are already rocking the toddlers of the Red Hair Pirates Grand Fleet, which forces Shanks to make his move to take matters into his own hands. And the obvious favorite that's going to win this battle is most likely going to be the red hair pirate with one arm. Well, which one are you even talking about? I guess the one with the scar across his face? But bro, they both do. Anyway, pause. I'ma stop playing around with you. Shanks is the favorite that's going to win this fight, and I just thought that it was funny and ironic how similar Kids and Shanks are, which honestly plays a big part in how interesting this fight is about to be. But how interesting can a fight even be if we already know the winner? Well, that's why I, Dandrix Coke, I'm going to be listing 3 possible ways for Kid to at least have a fighting chance or possibly win this high stakes battle against the person who might be top 1 in the verse. Because the reason why Oda is putting these 2 characters against each other is because he's cooking something. And I've learned throughout these couple of years to just trust wherever his pen leads us to. And for you, it will lead to this subscribe button. If you like One Piece or just about any anime and manga in general, this is the place for you. And you clicking that subscribe button truly helps a ton, and you get to see more anime content on your feed. Not bad, I guess. But now that you clicked the big red button, let's get back into the video, shall we? So, to begin even talking about the upcoming battle of the 2 red-haired giants, pun intended, we need to go back and talk about why it is such a big deal to begin with. Chapter 677 was the first time that we saw Kid after the time skip, and from that, we noticed something very different about him. Apart from him getting bulkier and having more scars all over his body, it was quite apparent that he was missing his left arm that has now been replaced with metal scraps. Then, in chapter 928, we learned that his previous encounter with the red hair pirates is how he lost his arm, and it was quite ambiguous for the longest time whether or not Shanks was the one who took it or someone else from his crew. But chapter 176 basically confirmed that Shanks wasn't the one who took it. Matter of fact, Kid didn't even get to Shanks. He lost his arm to one of the commanders probably, which Killer even warned Kid in this chapter that taking his arm was basically a warning shot, and that this time the stakes are going to be much higher as they're not only going to settle down taking one of Kid's arm again, this time they're going after his life. Which is why it is so hard to see Kid even winning this battle, because no matter how strong Kid got with his Devil Fruit Awakening and the great feats that we saw in his fight against Big Mom, this time there's no Mr. Law here to back him up. So the likelihood of Kid getting his ass pounded again is still very high. But like I said earlier, the reason why this fight is a big deal is because Oda will not allow Kid to constantly take L's, meaning that something needs to be done in order for us, Kid and Shanks, to have fun, to have a great showing, not only for us to see how great Kid can potentially be, but also for us to finally see the Haki God in action. So the first way I think Kid can come out of this with some kind of a W is if he unlocks Advanced Conqueror's Haki. We know that Kid is a Conqueror user, but he never officially showcased it. Matter of fact, we never even saw him use any sort of armament or even observation Haki. He's pretty much a brawler who goes absolute crazy with his Devil Fruit Awakening. But just like how Luffy unlocked Advanced Conqueror's Haki during his battle with Kaido, who is also an Advanced Conqueror's Haki user, it is not wrong to theorize that Kid will also awaken his inner Conqueror and Advanced Conqueror's Haki during his fight against Shanks, who is undoubtedly the pinnacle of Haki users in One Piece. But even if this sounds absolutely crazy and cool, it is just not enough. Because in order for Kid to even win this fight, not only does he go above and beyond with his advanced conqueror's haki, but he needs to go above and beyond in any categories possible, surpassing all expectation in order to get the dub on Shanks. Which is why I just don't see this being an actual win con for Kid against Shanks. Which kind of brings me to the second way in which Kid can actually win a battle against Shanks is for him to have more allies. And in this case, would be the Giants. And I know it sounds absolutely absurd because it kinda is, but we need to give Kid some kind of a fighting chance. Alright, so we know that the Giants don't like Big Mom. Like, they really don't fuck with her. Because as a young kid, Big Mom went on a rampage and not only destroyed a village on Elbaf, but she also killed a couple of giants on the way. To add on to that, the whole Lola marrying Loki thing didn't go very well, which also caused even more tension between her and the Giants. So Kid, being one of the two people who took out Big Mom, will not only be extremely favorable for him on Elbaf, but it has definitely also tickled the pickle of the Giants. Like, for example, the Big Mom hate club of Elbaf might just come out of nowhere and deem Kid as their savior, as a respectable warrior, and decide to just lend him a hand by allying with him. Or even crazier, Loki, the Prince of Elbaf, takes a liking into Captain Kid and allies with him. But even in the absolute best of cases where all of the Giants end up allying with Kid, I still don't see them defeating Shanks. Which is why this leads me to the third and final way for Eustace Captain Kid to maybe defeat Shanks is in a Davy back fight. So there's been this theory running around for quite a while now that is suggesting that Shanks and Luffy's reunion is going to be done in a Davy back fight. And this is where Luffy is going to win and give Shanks back his straw hat, yada yada. But I actually think that the only logical way for Kid to fight Shanks on a somewhat equal footing would be in a Davy back fight. Because who knows, Kid might just turn out to be a massive fucking gamer beast and take W's everywhere. And with those W's, he could be stealing members of the Red Hair Pirates, for example Rockstar and Ben Beckman, and that will help him even out the playing field a lot. Honestly guys, all of this is just me completely on hopium, hoping for Kid to do well. He's been taking just far too many L's, and at this point I just feel so bad for him. These are basically the three only ways that I could even think of Kid fighting Shanks on a somewhat equal standing. And even with that, I still just don't think it's possible. Worst case scenario is that Kid just becomes a tool to hype Shanks even more than he already is. So guys, give me your thoughts. Do you think that there's a world where we might see the new emerging of a red-haired emperor? Do you think that Kid is getting out of this tussle alive? And just out of curiosity, do you think that Kid is losing another arm? Because I'm not gonna lie to you, two metal arms kinda looks dope. You know, like Full Metal Alchemist type of vibe. But yeah. This is pretty much it for me now. Thank you so much for watching, and if you like One Piece or just about anime manga content in general, please consider to like, comment, subscribe, and ring that notification bell so that you don't miss any of my videos. Until next time, drink some Coke.